Because think about it, at the end of the day, if you're circular in your communication, leaving nothing unsaid, and every single loop closed, there's no confusion. If there's no confusion, there may not be a happy customer. But I will tell you this, there's not an angry customer.
Mm-hmm.
It's someone that appreciates the work that you're putting in for them. And I do that with everything. Every project, everything, every friendship, it has to be circular. It has to close. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have that, what do you have? You have an open circuit. And you know, if anyone knows anything about electricity, you have an open circuit.
Dangerous.
You don't have light. And we need light in our lives.
Yeah.
Right? And that's where it all comes in.
That's good stuff. So what do you think is next? Now you're getting in your inside real estate career, as the director of client accounts, and the merger. How do you see this growing? I mean, you've got a lot on your plate right now.
I mean, there's a lot, but what I see more than anything else, Melvin, is I see an unstoppable force. Right? I see an unstoppable force, and in a really great way. It's going to give so much power to the consumer, beyond anything that they've ever thought before, because they're going to have that optionality that they didn't have before. They're going to have a level of service they didn't have before. They have folks like myself behind the scenes, and I'm not the only person,
Yeah, I hope not.
Right. There's a lot of folks that are like me, that are on board, that are thinking this way. You're going to see customer empowerment like you've never seen before. I will say this. Reasons that real estate agents are not successful in real estate comes down to three things and three things only. One, they don't know the sales process well enough. They don't know how to close deals, right? That's what it is, number one. Number two, they're not producing enough top lead funnel growth, meaning they're not bringing enough leads in the system, whether doesn't have to be paid, doesn't have to be smear, it could be a combination. You need to generate 10 to 20 leads a month if you're going to be successful in this business. And number three, you got to be making money. You have to make money. So I'm not necessarily one of those folks that believes you have to be full-time. You have to be full-time. I don't say that. I know that comes with some controversy. And we can get into that another time.
Okay.
But you need those three things. You need to be knowledgeable in the sales process, not just for yourself, but so you can guide your clients. Right? Because if they don't know the sales process, they won't work with you because they're scared.
Yeah, fear, everyone would prefer certainty over uncertainty.
Fear is a great unmotivator, right? Or a great motivator, depending how you look at it. In this case, when your client doesn't know how to sell their home or how to buy a home, they're going to back away. So you have to know the process inside, outside, upside down, inside, like every way possible, so you can guide them. So you have to be an expert on the process. The real estate exam does not teach you process. You got to have a mentor. I went to JD when I was in New York. The guy is brilliant, knows the process inside and out. If I was in DMV, I would have went to you because you know the process. You need a mentor. You need a good broker that really not only knows the process, but knows how to teach the process. Right? So you got to learn that. Number two, don't think your friends and family members are going to buy from you because they're not. But you have to milk them for referrals. If you are not providing 10 new leads, 15 new leads every single month, you have no one to sell to. You're not providing top funnel growth. Otherwise, you're just hoping, wishing, wanting, waiting that a deal's going to happen. It ain't. It's not going to happen.
An electric company doesn't want hope as a payment.
No, they don't want hope as a payment. No one wants hope as a payment. You got to go out and produce that lead.
Right.
And number two, you got to have money, right? Don't take it out on credit. Don't borrow money. You got to bootstrap this thing, man. This is a small business. You got to throw around nickels like they're manhole covers. It is not something that you can do.
Like that. Say that one more time.
I got it with Scott Galloway. Throw around nickels like they're manhole covers. You got to be cognizant of everything you're spending because this ain't free, right? You're going to have to pay it back. When Uncle Sam comes down knocking at your door, you got to be ready to pay, right? You're going to either pay in money, you're going to pay in time. And between me and you, I like sleeping in my own bed and I like sitting on a toilet seat with a cover on it. So I'm not playing that game with Uncle Sam. I want to make sure that I am paying my bills on time, that things are taken care of. If that means I got to drive an Uber, if that means I got to deliver food, guess what? I'm doing it. I'm making ends meet by any means possible within legal reasons. I'm making sure that happens because money has to be coming in. Has to.
Right.
Non-negotiable. And so, yeah, you're going to be burning the candle on many ends here. And it's rough and it's hard. That's why I'm saying, like, some people are like, you got to be a full-time agent. I will be a full-time agent. And I'll be a full-time Uber driver. And I'll be a full-time bank teller.
And a full-time dad.
A full-time dad.
Full-time
husband.
Yeah.
And a full-time, lecture at church. I'm going to be a full-time everything I do, because when I'm focused on it, I'm going to do it 100% of the time. And you got to show up like that. And is it exhausting? Are you going to feel that burn? Yes. Talk about it. Exercise. Eat healthy. It helps, right? All these things have to happen at once. They're all true at the same time. And you have to do that. But if you're not providing those leads to yourself, your business is going to fail. So you need those 3 elements. And if you're doing all 3 of those elements, you're going to see massive success.
Yeah. And I think the, putting in the work, like you said, being full-time at whatever it is. So even I will say to a part-time agent, if you got 20 hours a week, it needs to be a full 20 hours, not a half-at. Watching videos of house tours is not moving your business forward. You
got to be strategic. I love accountability. I love calendar management. Tom Ferry says this thing that I just eat up. It's not in your calendar. It doesn't exist. Therefore, it will not happen. Right. And if I got 20 hours a week, I'm going to block that in my calendar and I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to figure it out. And if it's uncertain, it's not good. So I got to know when I'm prospecting, when I'm making my calls, and it has to be consistent. I have to know what my work schedule is like. I have to work my tail off and I have to make that money at the time that I can. Exercise. I'm going to work out at the same time every single day, no matter what. I'm going to put in time. Maybe I know I only have 30 minutes. I'm going to work out 30 minutes every single day. And my workouts, I don't always mean being intense. Sometimes it can be stretching. You got to take care of your body. You got to take care of your mind. You got to meditate. Take 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be a long, drawn out thing. It can be 5 minutes of just silent thought. It doesn't have to be crazy. Spend money mindfully. Don't be crazy about it. If I know I don't need a new pair of shoes and I just got to put some polish on these old ones, I'm just going to put some polish. If I got to fix a hole in my shoe, I'm going to fix a hole in my shoe, because at the end of the day, this money is going to fuel you to do what you want to do. Money buys you back time. Mm-hmm. That's what it buys you back. It doesn't buy you things, it buys you time. And that's how I'm going to leverage, because I think of time in a multiplicities kind of viewpoint. What can I automate? What can I delegate? And then last but not least, what do I have to do? Right? That's Rory Vaden. If you see his TED Talk, he talks about that. And I love that. And I stole that. But that's how time multipliers think. Time's not linear. You multiply that stuff.
Yeah, by leverage.
So it's all about leverage. And if I can leverage my money to buy me back time, I'm going to do that. I don't have time to do admin work. I just don't have it. I'm going to hire an admin. I don't have time to call my leads because my schedule's, I'm going to use a company like Localess, and I'm going to have them nurture my leads, or Verse. We're going to have them nurture my leads. I don't have time to figure out who to call next. Yeah, I'm going to use a CRM like KV Core.
Right.
Boomtown, shameless plug, right? I'm gonna do that because it buys me back time. And then you think about the investment that you're putting in. It's no longer a spend; it's an investment in yourself and your time. And I get that back, and I get to hang out with my son,
right?
And play soccer in the yard. Are you kidding? Of course,
right. It's like that any day.
That's where the money goes to.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of agents try to figure out, and a lot of people just in business think of what's the least I can do and get by, or what's the minimum I have to do to make a profit. And I always challenge folks to, what's the most you can do,
right,
and still make a.
What's the most? How you do something is how you do everything, right? So if you're half-assed it here, you're half-assed it somewhere else, and then guess what you are? You're a half-asser.
Right. That's it.
Right. And in this business and in life, I'm realizing, look, we're a great country, but we're also a very capitalist country, which means it's amazing to be wealthy, and it's equally unamazing to be poor. It's actually extraordinarily harsh here if you're poor. If you're not making a certain amount of income, this is one of the harshest environments that you'll ever live in.
But New York?
Anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you're constantly reminded how poor you are.
Yeah.
Right? I remember wearing hand-me-downs on hand-me-downs on hand-me-downs, right? It is not fun. It is not fun, especially when you're walking around the streets of Manhattan. People are driving around in cars that are worth more than your house. Right? So at the end of the day, you have to figure out a way to make it and make yourself better. And you have to level that side of yourself up. So you just have to figure it out by any means necessary. And what I would say to that is there is a way that you can't half-step. There's no room for that here. And you've got to be all in all the time in everything you do, because otherwise you're just half-assing your entire way through life. And guess what? When you die, right, because we all get there eventually,
yeah,
That's what we all have in common, right? We're all going to die. And I know that sounds morbid,
Yeah,
but it actually, let that be freeing, that there is a timeline, there is an end. And then there's the date that you're born, the date that you died. There's that little dash in between. That dash is where everything happened. That dash is where everything happened. And I want you to visualize what that dash means about you, because the dash looks the same on everyone's tombstone, but what it means about you means a lot. Do you want that to be this person half-assed their way through life? Or you want that person did everything they can to be remarkable?